everyone, this is Saloni and with me is my wonderful brother and fellow astrologer Shivam. And today we are going to talk about the upcoming transit of the most benefic planet Jupiter, which is going into Aquarius from April 6th, and it will reside there till the September 15th of 2021. So before knowing about this upcoming transit, I think we should tell the audience about what Jupiter is, what it denotes, right? So what would you like to say about Jupiter?
Well, the Jupiter, planet of abundance, growth, prosperity, and it also denotes a husband in a woman's chart, and it is a very important planet for the relationships. Now, this planet has transited from the debilitated sign of Capricorn, right, where it was tense, it was without any optimism, without any energy, and was more driven by materialistic desires. And Jupiter is also a very spiritual planet. It is the planet of your consciousness. Now it has shifted to a more humanitarian sign of Aquarius.
Right.
Yes, Loni.
Yeah, so talking about the sign of Aquarius, Aquarius is all about multiplication and expansion because along with Saturn, it is co-ruled by Rahu. And Rahu, which is also known as North Node, is a planet of materialism and multiplication. And Jupiter itself also signifies expansive energy. So it is time to really explore your dynamic talents in this time period. And this time period is going to be such that because Jupiter, it is the Karka of JIVA, which means that it signifies life. It literally means that it is the protector and nourisher of life. So in this time period, when Jupiter enters the sign of Aquarius, which is slightly inimical, it can affect the immunity of people, right?
Very true, very true. And I would like to add it that as it was placing the sign of Capricorn, it was very weak, debilitated, and without any optimism. And this shift in Jupiter from the sign of Capricorn to the Aquarius will provide new enthusiasm, new energy, and people will be more engaging in more humanitarian acts. Also, this is a sign of communication. It naturally rules your 11th house. Multiplication, communication, new connections. And it is the Lord, natural Lord of your 9th house. That is your luck, opportunities, what you get through your luck. It denotes that. And also your 12th house, house of isolation, spirituality, and is placing in the 11th sign. That is, it is multiplying all these things. And this is not a very regular kind of a Jupiter, but more shifted towards the energy of multiplying things, more shifted towards making new connections, and also driven by the force of technology. So the technology in this time will be a booming thing, right? And mass media.
Right. And because it is in a sign which denotes humanity, and Jupiter also denotes conservation of things. So I think the technology will be more based on viable sources, renewable sources of energy. So we are moving into that sort of direction in this time period. But this Jupiter being in this slightly inimical sign also denotes that essential commodities which are necessary for our life, for our living, for example gas or oil, the prices may fluctuate, may become slightly higher in this time period.
Yes, very true, because it's a sign which denotes the air, that the companies or the big MNCs will try to create an air about their product, will try to create I would say that naturally squeezing of supply chains at times, right, so that the prices are kept at a higher levels. And this Jupiter is still better than the placement it was time before, right, in the sign of Capricorn. It is still much good, it is better, it is improving.
I think also because we are in the Kali Yuga, it is a dark time, and also we are going to the Guru Chandala phase of this specific time period, and Jupiter itself has become so inimical. So I think spirituality also has taken a turn over here. We have become more modern in terms of our spirituality, and some people are also connecting different cultures together, blending in together. When it comes to their spirituality, they are using different sort of methods together, and it's forming a new sort of unconventional sort of outlook towards spirituality right now.
Very true, very true. And I also believe that in this time, people will be exploring into spirituality,
Right,
yoga, and will be infusing
right.
everything. And it is not a time of, singular disciplinary studies, but multiple disciplines. People will be
Right.
studying medicine, yoga, astrology, all these things
Yeah, they're
coming
going to
together.
connect it because Jupiter is very dynamic, it's very vast, and it denotes Grahan Shakti. Grahan Shakti means the power to imbibe things, the power to know things is also seen through Jupiter according to Vedic astrology, right? So we
Yes,
are going to imbibe different things from different cultures, from different spiritual people, and that is how we all are going to grow. And in the sign of Aquarius, it's all denoting your social media, your electronic media. It's denoting a very wide circle of community right now. And we have entered into such sort of phase where we are all connected through this mass media communication, right?
yes, very true. And this Jupiter is going to be very fruitful for certain signs, for certain ascendants, and it is going to be quite transformatory for the
Right,
others. But in general, one has to understand that this is a time to open up, this is a time to stay optimistic, and this is a
right,
time to form new connection. You will, understand faith in a very, very new and a renewed way in this time period, as it is starting to gain its energy when it enters the sign of Aquarius.
right, right. And I feel that because you were saying that it is going to be fruitful for some of the signs, I also feel that people who have this sort of air element really active in their birth charts, who have got a very, very strong Rahu in their birth charts, that is not Nard, they are going to have some innovative ideas in this time period, which are
Very
going to
true.
be very, different, very unconventional. They're not going to stick towards the traditional methods, but they're going to do something really different. And again, as we said, that it's going to be very, very dynamic in nature, and it is also relating to something which is going to be, helpful towards other people, contributory towards the community in some way or the
Yes,
other.
yes,
But it's going to be more towards the scientific aspect. That's what I feel, because
yes,
Aquarius is a very, very scientific sign, and at the same time it also is has got some dense energy. Aquarius has got some dense energy over here, and karmic energy. Other than Scorpio, this sign also has slightly karmic energy, because it is denoting the unknown future,
yes.
future which is unknown, which we don't know, but our karma leads to that future, right?
Very true,
So it's
very true.
very important for us to be very clean hearted in this time period, and to do our karma with full optimism, because Jupiter is a planet of faith, it's a planet of optimism. So to keep your Jupiter boosted in this time period, even though it is placed in an inimical sign, you need to make utterances which are very positive, because it's in an air
Air
sign,
sign,
and
true.
air sign is a sign of expression. So you need to be optimistic. And since this air sign is about community, it's about connecting with other people, so it's very important for you to also support people that are around you, to
Yes,
motivate them. So it's a
yes.
good time period for motivational speakers as well, right?
Right, very true, very true. And overall, this Jupiter is going to be quite fruitful, and the Jupiter has been keeping everyone very troubled in the last year
Yeah,
and for past few months, right? And you people will be, most of you will be regaining faith into relationships, into connecting with the other human beings, and be strongly driven by meaningful acts, acts which are for the benefit of all the people around you, all the communities around you. And this is a very transformative time period also for the thinking of everyone. So people will be opening up in their thinking, in their thought
right,
process.
right,
They'll use science as a tool to help humanity in this time period. And I also see that many new rise of many new good humanitarian leaders, not the political ones, but humanitarian leaders who are gonna stay for the long run in this time period.
right.
And it is important in this time period to communicate about spirituality, because it's in an air sign, it's in a public
Hmm.
house, connecting with people, multiplying the thing. The way she said, the more you have the positive utterances, Your circle, your connections, your gains are going to multiply. They'll become immense, right? And one should not forget it is an humanitarian sign. So the ultimate purpose of doing any act has to be on the humanitarian basis,
Right.
has to be something meaningful, something
Right.
contentful, and the wealth that you will be gaining through it will stay for long. And also, as it's in the sign of Aquarius, one has to be conscious about the people whom they are having the company of, because it also denotes your advisors, your helpers, or the ones
Right.
telling you about the things. So people in this time will be more relying on different kinds of experts into their field, who through which they are going to rise in this time period. So a good king has a very good council of ministers.
Right.
Remember this thing, right?
Right.
So it is your council and the friends around you. So keep good kind of advisors around you, and whom you feel disconnected, or whom you feel they are not very spiritually high risen, or they are very low on life. Cut onto those people in this time
Right.
period.
Right.
It is very important, right? So yes,
It's
Saloni.
very important, and it is going to enter into the nakshatra of Dhanishta. And Dhanishta is again all about multiplication, and it is a nakshatra of earthly abundance. So, what you're going to
Materialism.
have, yeah, materialism, and something that you get out of the earth. That means the grains. Again, as I was telling about basic commodities, so it's all about grains or oil that we get from under the crust of earth. So such things are going to get affected. The prices will be affected, and Dhanishta also means punctuality. So some people can get indulged in some sort of overthinking, or they might become slightly pessimistic because of the energy of Jupiter being slightly negative in this time period, and they may lose out on time. Some of them who already, I guess, have a slightly weak Jupiter in their birth chart.
Okay.
So
Right.
that is what I feel, and now we can talk about the aspects of Jupiter, right?
Well, yes. And for the aspects of Jupiter, Jupiter has a natural fifth aspect and the ninth aspect. So it is aspecting the sign of Gemini, right? Again, a dual sign. And on the other end, it is aspecting the sign of Libra. So the fifth aspect of Jupiter is more telling about their talents, about their learning energy, about the energy of what is right, pur punya, right? That is the acts of the past.
Right.
And when it is envisioning the fifth sign, when it is envisioning the sign of Gemini, right, it is telling you to create a logical balance into things, to be very, very intellectually balanced, what the utterances you give outside,
Right.
and to stick to your calculations in this time period, right? And when we are talking about its aspect on the sign of Libra, it is telling about the balance into relationships, right? It's not just the material wealth, your gains, which are of the foremost importance, but also your relationship.
Right. I think Libra is also about like balancing things, giving equality to other people in your
Mediation.
life, mediation, counseling, and also commitment. When Jupiter
Right.
aspects Libra, it gives commitment to the sign, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
Otherwise, Libra is not really about commitment, it's just about engagement.
Engagement. True,
Right.
true, true. So this was our analysis about this Jupiter transit into the sign of Aquarius, and this Jupiter will be staying till the month of September 15th, 2021, and it is going to be quite a transformatory time for each one of us, right?
Yeah. So overall, in gist, I think our advice to you will be that stay optimistic in this time period, and do consumption of things which really help to produce in that JIVA Shakti in you. That is the life force, life energy. All the sattvic foods like papaya, like turmeric, such things should be consumed in this time period, so that your immunity is strong, and you become a very, very, you can say, positive person, vibrating positive energy. And as you said, that it's very important for us to cut out from people, to shut down our doors towards people who are slightly negative for us, who are toxic. So it's very important for us to protect ourselves in this time period. I
Right.
hope you liked this video. Thank you so much.
Do share the video, hit the subscribe button,